everyone. Welcome to another Game Ball podcast stream. I'm your host, Mark, and we're back with the News Hour here on Sunday, November 16th, 2025. For those of you listening on podcast and YouTube, it is the 17th. If you do want to watch live, we are here every Sunday night, 9 p.m., sometimes 9:30, depending on schedule and technical issues. But we will be here, and you can join in chat, as you can see to my left there. That would be my right, your left. Over there. And join us for all the fun that we have here. Also, as you can see in the upper left-hand corner of the screen there, we are doing our Extra Life campaign. We've already raised $625 of our $750 total. Thank you, Meta Militia, for putting it in chat for those of you live. We've had a successful 2 weeks in terms of streaming, having some fun, eating some nugs. The nugs will last all the way through the year. So it is a goal. Every donation of $5 or more gets me one spin of the wheel. And right now, we're only doing the 4 hottest hot sauces I have. I am not chickening out and doing any of the other ones because that's no fun for you. So we will have that all ready for you. So we'll start there. This week we finished Dispatch. And as I said on stream, and I'd have to look back because there's a lot of recency bias for a lot of things, but I very much think that this is going to be my number 2 game of the year. I don't think anything is past Clair Obscur for me yet in terms of, music, character, story, gameplay, just everything. Art. I don't think there's anything that has surpassed that yet. But Dispatch definitely is very solid in number 2 or 3. My top 4 is real weird. It's kind of like how last year shook out a little bit. Where there was like an interchangeable C'est Magnifique, where 2, 3, and 4 were I couldn't nail it down till the end of the year, and I feel like that is going to be the way. It's between Dispatch, Hades 2, and Death Stranding 2 for those top for 2, 3, and 4. The main thing is every week, like, I play through Dispatch this week, and I'm like, yeah, hell, number 2. I'll play, like, 4 more runs of Hades 2. I'm like, nope, I'll hit something new in it. Nope, this is number 2. And then somebody will remind me of Death Stranding and the craziness, and I'll watch some videos on there. I'm like, maybe that was number 2. But yeah, I think those 2 are set in. I think my top 4 set. I don't think anything will be able to jump it. I don't think there's a Balatro out there that I have not tried yet. I haven't played Arc Raiders. Apparently that's supposed to be Game of the Year from all those multiplayer gamers that are so shunned that that game is Game of the Year. But, so Dispatch. It's one of those Telltale games, where you can pick your choices, and it does a much better job at remembering it and making your choices more, I wouldn't say more consequential, because there's a couple big choices. But like all the smaller choices have even like little consequences. For different scenes, you get to see different reactions from characters, different way characters interact in the actual mini game, which is the dispatching of the heroes. Just depending on the way you talk to them and the way you do what you need to do. But I think the highlight of this is the voice cast. Animation, it's pretty much like a playable anime, essentially, is the way I've seen it put, and I can kind of agree with that, where they have interactive cutscenes, and I did them, like the QuickTime events, but you could just sit back and watch those cutscenes, and they just look like a quick, anime, like you're watching some kind of story on, stream or something, unfold. Characters are, for the most part, all well-rounded. There's a couple that they didn't really deep dive into their backgrounds, but when you have like 8 or 9 characters, it's kind of hard. But the main ones that you meet or that you interact with a lot have some pretty good depth to them. You have your 2 love interests, Blonde Blazer and Avizagao. Some people think that's spoilers, but I'm really just letting everyone know that there's only 2 romanceable characters. As much as you or I would have loved to romance Malevola, which is the demon character voiced by Alana Pierce, unfortunately we cannot. So we have to pick one of the 2, and yeah, I on my playthrough went with the Avizagao, and got all the way to the end and succeeded in the romance. Got a trophy for it, or an achievement, I guess it's called on Steam. So, I saw that, but I've also seen the Blonde Blazer thing, and that's got a pretty cool story to it. And they left some threads out there for like a Dispatch 2, or if they wanted to actually make an anime. But in terms of the characters, I think a couple of them sort of are either one note or they don't really dive deep into them, like Prism. While her powers are cool and it's a cool character, great voice acting, there. And Golem as well. Like, for some reason, they didn't really jump into their stories much. Like, even, you have Sonar and Malevola. They're connected in a story, so you learn a lot about them. Punch Up and Coupe or Coupe are linked up. They used to date and stuff like that. So, you learn a bit about them. And then you have Waterboy and Phenomenon, where they're part of your choices and story. So you get to learn a bit more about them. But yeah, I just wish it's kind of hard with as many characters as you could get. That 2 of them really just were left out in the dust. Unfortunate, because they have some pretty cool ideas to them. Gollum just being a construct, like where'd he come from? Why is he, doing this? And Prism's like a pop star. That they're all villains essentially. They're like your Suicide Squad, but yeah, characters are great. Even your in-office characters, just like most Telltale games, the majority of characters are fantastic and voiced, tremendously. I think the funny part, I think watching the, what's it called, the chatter about it, like on the internet and stuff like that, is some people not like understanding, some ways voice acting works. Like they picked these because they picked a couple YouTubers, streamer types, for it, to play Punch Up and Sonar and Waterboy, and they basically just let them do their own voice, just like cranked up a little bit. And a lot of people were like, "Oh, they're not even doing a character; they're just their own voice doing." I was like, "Well, they probably hired them, especially for the 3 of them, because of their voices are unique, and fit the characters." I know the guy who plays Punch Up, and I always get his name wrong. Jack something. I've heard it said a million times, but it just hasn't really drilled into my head. He's Irish, but he turns up the Irish accent, and does a little bit of a caricature of an Irish accent, but it's still pretty much his voice. Charlie White, who plays Sonar, his voice, is just not something you would expect to come out of a Bat character, and it's just mostly his natural voice. And then they picked Alana Pierce because they wanted a really Australian accent for the demon, and they told her to do her natural Australian accent and not the one, the way she's learned to talk while being a media presenter in the United States. and then Joel Haver for who's a very unique, awkward, nerdy voice, um, being Waterboy just fits perfectly. And he admitted, I saw an interview, he admitted that he tried to put a character on, and they told him no. They just said, we hired you for your voice, just say your voice and give the emotion through it. So anyway, Dispatch, great game. I highly recommend to buy it, play through it, then watch a million other streamers play through it, and have the little bit of frustration at the Dispatch scenes that I have. Even though I streamed it and came out fairly well with it. And I say my only thing with those is that I was silent during them. I got to learn to talk through my thoughts. But that's something I got to learn for me. But, watching other people just completely miss things on screen. It was weird. I was like, I didn't read things, so I wasn't mad about the not reading. But literally like a check mark on the middle of the screen that was gold. And it took them like a few minutes to find it. And yeah, it's just fun. It's just one of those type of games that, you can have fun watching someone play it or playing it yourself. So that's the game I mainly played. We played Trails in the Sky second chapter. We got through some side stuff before we continued on with the story, which we will do next week. That took about 2 hours to get through the side content for that. We just started chapter 5, I believe it is. We should be about 2/3 of the way there, just by hour count, and I think we're supposed to go to every single city, and we're finally going to our last city. So I'm assuming we finish this city, and then we'll have like a final dungeon or two against the big bads here. So looking forward to that. Hopefully we're done by the end of the year with that. But the game's still amazing. It's anybody who loves RPGs. It's one of those that if you don't know about it, go get it. I don't know. I haven't played enough of the remake to say go get the remake and not the original. But the original, those are such different games. So really, it's your preference. But yeah. So play through that. And then the only other game, I haven't gotten to any Outer Worlds this week. I was planning on doing it today, but I just decided to be a little lazy and did a lot of, well, not even lazy because I did a lot of chores around my house, rather than play video games all day. Food shopping, laundry, all that great, exciting stuff that we have to do as adults. So I haven't gotten back to Outer Worlds in a while. So hopefully we'll tag that back in next week. And then I played a lot of NCAA football. I just got back into it. I think I was over my depression of Penn State season and just decided to fire it up. And, I'm at that point where my coach is leveled up and good enough, and I'm good enough at the game that I'm just winning just about every game. And really, I have to schedule really tough teams or wait till the playoff to have any kind of competition. But yeah, I'm still having fun with it. I mean, it's learning the wear and tear system, which is annoying. I had to adjust some meters because I couldn't run a running back, like an average, like, I had a sophomore running back that didn't have many carries, but because of the way they calculated how hard hits hurt, he was almost done for his career. So I eked back those sliders. I'm like, this shouldn't be right. Like, there's no way to tell when someone's going to hit truck you or whatever. Not that you can do that in real life, but it's kind of hard to make it a game mechanic and make it hard to avoid. Yeah, so that's what I've been playing. And then this week, we got Mega Man 4. Oh, I did play that. We got through a few of the bosses. We got the charge up mechanic on the Buster. I'm not sure if I'm probably not going to use it when I should, just like I didn't use the slide in 3 when I should, and figured it out at the end when they force you to use it. That just happens to be me in video games. So we'll be back with that tonight. Tom is getting near the end. We only got 2 more people to get in Final Fantasy VI before we go finish that game. Maybe grind a little bit for a couple streams. And then and then we'll have we're going to record Podcast Prime this Friday. We're going to talk a lot about. I'm just going to go over the basics for the first story of the night, and then we're going to do a deep dive into it for Podcast Prime to wrap a whole bunch of stuff around it with other things going on. But yeah, and then Saturday we'll be back. I might have a game plan for Saturday, if not this Saturday, the Saturday after. But yeah, just keep an eye out. It'll probably be a game time decision on that. So, all right. Well, now I think it's time to move on to the news. And I apologize, I got my Extra Life stuff up there. There we go. And our first story, Valve announces next-gen Steam machine. Says it's over 6 times more powerful than the Steam Deck, but there is no price yet. It's from IGN. Valve has announced the return to its Steam Machine PC/console hybrid hardware alongside a new version of the Steam controller. As part of a big day for Valve hardware announcements, Valve confirmed the next-gen Steam Machine and controller featuring specs, but failed to announce one key piece of information: price. We do know, however, that the Steam Machine comes at a 512 gigabyte model and a 2 terabyte model, and will ship in bundles with the Steam controller as well as standalone at some point in 2026. Specs-wise, which we'll get in deeper to what this means, I'm just going to read them off to you. It has a semi-custom AMD Zen 4 6-core 12-thread CPU, a semi-custom AMD RDNA 3 GPU, and supports 4K gaming at 60 frames per second with full screen resolution, I believe FSR would be. You guys can correct me in chat. Valve described the new Steam Machine as 6 times more powerful than the Steam Deck, with 16 gigabyte DDR5 and 8 gigabyte GDDR6 VR RAM. The full specs for the Steam Machine and Steam controller are below. That was my point. That was the whole reason I was reading this. I was waiting to see if Night Duck is here. Okay, FSR is AMD's version of DLSS. Okay, got it. Yeah, which is why I said we're going to go deeper into this on Podcast Prime, because I am not the man to be talking about all of this. So here is the controller images. I'll pull them up on screen for you guys. Hopefully that... I don't know how to make this better for you guys. There we go. I'm just going to have to move that back when I switch. So there, for the video, looks like basically for the most part, a little bit like a 360 Xbox Switch Pro controller-esque design. The big factor, which we see in this photo, is that it has the trackpads, kind of like which I hear are on the Steam Deck, that you can do mouse with here. But your standard XYAB, standard controllers here. Yeah, so... yeah, that is the controller. Now let's move this back into place. Yeah, so that's a Steam controller. Yeah, it looks like it could be, like, I guess it's fine for my hands, but I don't know if someone with bigger hands might be a little more difficult to do the trackpads. So here are the features and specs. I will not read them off so that Night Duck will not get in his car and drive over here to scream at me. But we'll go over all this on Podcast Prime for you guys to listen if you want to know more. But if you're watching the video, you can kind of sort of read over it. Obviously, Linux is going to be a big part of this. Yeah. So that's a Steam Machine. Now, the thing we can talk about here, I think Um, my guess for pricing, I think the 2 terabyte could be upwards to close to 1,000, and the 5 gigabyte coming in somewhere between 700 and 800. Just with tariffs and the way RAM is going up in price from what I've seen, I could see the 2 terabyte being more than 1,000, but I don't know how you can justify it. I guess you can justify it by showing everybody how much things cost. But in terms of, you know, compared to just getting a PS5 Pro or whatever, you need to show that it's more of a luxury machine than that. Like it's a higher end machine, but not separate yourselves enough that you just don't have any early adopters. So yeah, I'm thinking 1,000, maybe up to 1,100 for the 2 terabyte model, and then the 512 being around, we'll say 700-800. I could see that being a little less, possibly as a way to get people in the door with it. But yeah, it's going to be interesting when the price comes out to see if there is any ordering. It's kind of like when Switch 2, because of the tariffs and all, just seeing what they're going to price this at. But also, Valve announced Steam Frame, its next-gen VR headset. Steam Frame differs from its predecessor, Valve Index, in that it can be used as a standalone VR headset, kind of like the Quest, or Quest Go, or whatever it's called. That's not connected to the TV. I have one here. I should know what it's called. Valve failed to announce a firm release date or price for the Steam Frame, and it doesn't look like it has any new games to show off the hardware either. Valve released Half-Life Alyx to showcase Valve Index back in 2020, but in an interview with IGN ahead of today's reveal, the company said no software was in the works, but be sure to check out hands-on preview. So there's some specs here on it. I know even less about this, so I'm not even going to try. But yeah, scrolling slowly for those of you watching on the video. But yeah, this is the I guess they saw what, Meta's got that Quest out that doesn't need to be attached, and I think that's starting to be like the industry standard, is not being tethered to the computer. So they did have to come out with an answer. And I do appreciate, for those of you watching on video, they have the little back pad on the back of the head, because it's the one thing with my Quest. It's just basically the plastic things that you tighten and all, that's just digging into the back of your head. So a little pad will be nice there. But yeah, this will be interesting to see when this price comes out, but they had to throw out a competitor. Yeah. And as Tom says in the chat, I will read it off for those of you audio listeners. The more exciting thing is it's an ARM device. I'm assuming that's not ARM. ARM device, which means Steam might come to Android devices. So Steam announcements are huge. Like I said, we'll go into a deeper dive on Prime, but I did at least want to mention them up front here in the news. It's ARM. Look, your arm. Oh, okay. When everything is lowercase in a paragraph outside of Steam, I'm assuming that they're acronyms. But then again, not a tech guy. I can research things and sort of figure out things, but just saying things on the top of your head, Night Duck and Metal Militia would be the ones to go to if you are in our community for any of those questions like that. Yeah, I was right. We were both right. You say ARM, but it is ARM. So. And the best thing that I saw that came out of this is Dbrand is making a Steam Machine companion cube enclosure. Obviously. He's cleared that, what's this? Oh, this got updated. Okay, let me read the update. After a comment from Dbrand, it's clear this isn't a skin, but an actual enclosure. Oh, wow. It is, I'm sure that more than a few of you just assumed that Dbrand would be making a weighted companion cube skin, which we now is an enclosure, for the newly announced Steam Machine. But it seems the company is going even further with its Portal reference. We're making a full-blown enclosure. Even after accounting for a removable faceplate and air intake requirements, we are confident in it is fully viable. Refining details over the coming month, but we are registering interest now and intend to bring the product to market in early 2026. I bet that'll be before the Steam Machine itself. You can jump on a mailing list to be notified about the companion cube, and there's the photo there. This was obvious. They were going to do this. This is perfect. If Steam was going to do, Valve Steam, we're going to do a cube-like Steam Machine, there needed to be an enclosure that was just a companion cube from Portal. For those of you that don't know what a companion cube is, it's from the video game Portal. And so you can get on the mailing list to check this out. So it should launch in Q1 if you want to have it ahead of your Steam Machine. All right. Next up, another announcement. The Super Mario Galaxy movie had a direct. The main thing, Bowser Jr. is in it, and he's played by Benny Safdie. Safdie? I really should get pronunciation guides. The old radio person in me just lived by pronunciation guides. Brie Larson, which I think they spelt wrong. I think that's an O. I don't think... Is that how you spell Brie Larson for some reason? Yes, it's an O. Okay. That makes me feel better. I'm pretty sure that's an O. It's Larson. As Princess Rosalina. Which, obviously, if you're doing a Super Mario Galaxy movie, Rosalina had to be in it. I do like how the new look, they got her to look closer to the new look Princess Peach in here. Peach here and Captain Toad. We're assuming that's who that is. Head to space. In a change from the Galaxy games, Peach and her trusty Toad sidekick, who's wearing a backpack very reminiscent of Captain Toad, hop themselves into space in pursuit of Bowser Jr. It's a different take on the opening Super Mario, the game, as there is no invasion by Bowser. Instead, Peach and Toad voluntarily leap through a set of warp stars into the cosmos. The poster is revealed here. You can see. It's a pretty nice poster. It's coming out in April. So, yeah. Got a couple quick announcements. Just thought I'd throw that in there. That was a fun thing. And it'll be interesting because they are actually tying this into something that was a game in Super Mario Galaxy. So they can't have, they're probably going to throw a bunch of references in there, and I saw a bunch of them. I think there's even like a Odyssey reference. I saw like the upside down triangle. The inverted pyramid probably is a better way of phrasing it in the trailer. But yeah, it's I'm gonna check it out. I mean, if you just gotta go into the expectation that it's a kids movie and not overthink it. Next up, Japan has State of Play. So I'm just gonna go quickly through this here because Dragon Quest VII, the Reimagine, it reemerged with a new gameplay trailer. Cozy Games were shown. There's Coffee Talk Tokyo. There's one store, I think that's in Konbini? The game Broken Lore Unfollow was announced with the new release date trailer. Broken Lore Ascend got one as well. Fatal Frame 2 Crimson Butterfly got a 2026 release. It's coming out March 12th, 2026. Dynasty Warriors Origins. It's Visions of Four Heroes DLC this January. So that'll be on January 22nd, 2026. Gran Turismo 7 gets Spec 3 and Power Pack trailer ahead of 2025 launch. So if you're into Gran Turismo, getting some new stuff there. There's a gameplay for Pac-Man World 2 Repack that has a Sonic the Hedgehog collaboration DLC. And you can see the cursed image of Pac-Man wearing Sonic skin, which was very weird. Monster Hunter Wilds sets free title update for release date. So the update's coming on December 16th if you're still playing Monster Hunter Wilds. Knights, Super Monkey Ball, and SpongeBob characters are popping into Sonic Racing Cross Worlds. I'm so excited. The SpongeBob might be the thing I'm least excited about. The other two are pretty fun for adding to Cross Worlds. I can't wait to play that game soon. Nevergrave, The Witch and the Curse. Gameplay trailer was shown. That is March 5th, 2026. Octopath Traveler 0 demo is out if you want to play it ahead of the December release date, which is December 4th. Fate Trigger blends animate visuals with tactical hero shooter. So Fate Trigger, a new game coming in 2026 that uses the Unreal 5 engine. Marvel Tokon Fighting Souls beta was announced between December 5th and 7th. You can go in there. Spider-Man and Ghost Rider. And those 3 days you can play the game as much as you want. I'm assuming if you have pre-ordered the game. And then the big announcement was probably Elden Ring Night Rain. The Forsaken Hollows DLC was revealed. From Software and its multiplayer spin-off, Elden Ring Night Rain are back with a new DLC called The Forsaken Hollows. The first trailer here premieres as the State of Play Japan, reveals elements both familiar and new for fans. From Elden Ring to Dark Souls is undeniably FromSoft and released on December 4th, 2025. And then the strange thing, a Japanese language only digital PS5 is coming to Japan. It'll cost about 55,000 yen or $350. It comes out November 21st and it'll have 825 gigabytes of storage. And then Sony also unveiled the PlayStation 5 monitor for the US and Japan. It's a 27-inch monitor with vivid visuals and VRR support and built-in charging dock for your DualSense controller. So, pricing and details have not been announced for that. So that was the PlayStation State of Play for Japan. So, not anything crazy announced, but some notable things there. Sorry, I had to blow my nose there. For those of you watching the video, you saw that, but did not hear it. It was starting to affect my talking. Next up, this is the Call of Duty block for the next two. Activision responds to complaints of AI-generated assets in Call of Duty. Fuck AI. Black Ops 7. Activision has issued a statement in response to player outcry regarding the seeming use of generative AI art assets in a number of areas of Call of Duty Black Ops 7. Players have been taking to social media to complain about the images they believe to be AI-generated across the game, primarily focused on calling card images that they claim appear to use Studio Ghibli styling, following a trend of AI Ghibli images from earlier in the year. So the card here is, the rare drop card, and you can clearly tell that these are styled after something else. In response to it, Activision issued a statement. Like so many around the world, we use a variety of digital tools, including AI tools, to empower our support our teams to create the best gaming experience possible for our players. Our creative process continues to be led by the talented individuals in our studios. And our team uses generative AI tools to help develop some in-game assets. Um, so yeah, not the first time they've done this, but it's good to see people, um, pushing back on the AI art because it has gotten out of control for it. And then Call of Duty, but the thing that's most maddening to me, and probably the reason why I may not pick it up this year, Call of Duty Black Ops 7 campaign is online only with no checkpoints or pausing and will kick you if you're idle for too long. The story campaign has numerous restrictions tied to its always online nature, which is fucking stupid, with no mention of pausing levels. You will also be booted from your game if you're idle for too long. As detailed in IGN's just published review, 6 out of 10, the story experience, traditionally offered as a solo affair, is really more geared to being played via online co-op, which it supports for up to 4 players. The downside to that, however, are that the game offers no AI companions to fill in if you have missing spots on your 4-person squad, no checkpoints, no difficulty options, and the need to repeat tasks clearly designed for completion by multiple players if you're playing solo. Playing solo is borderline tedious due to having to repeat multiple objectives, such as placing C4 on a building yourself 4 times, rather than splitting them up as intended. So, as a fan of Call of Duty, as a fan of playing Call of Duty campaigns and enjoy them when they are good. This was as close to me being furious about gameplay news. Not that I'm some kind of COD defender or COD bro. I know we joke about it here, but it's just like, it's so dumb to tie the single player thing to... Why even do it? Why even have a campaign if you're going to make it always online? It's not... It's like... I would rather have the shitty Modern Warfare 3 campaign than an always online. It's the worst idea. No idea why they do it. It's not going to affect sales because most people, like two-thirds to 3/4 of people that buy the game buy it for the multiplayer. So it's not even. It's just frustrating that they couldn't just give. I'm terrible at Call of Duty. Yeah, as you all know, I've gotten much better after following Night Duck's suggestions 3 years ago. But I always use the campaign to sort of get an idea of the guns and sort of understand the guns before going into multiplayer. So if it's going to be frustrating and tedious to do that on here, I'm not going to do it. And it's a shame because Black Ops 6 campaign was actually really good. Going through the 90s and the Clinton era and all that stuff. So it's ridiculous that I guess it's only because they had a year to do it, maybe? I don't know. I'm not giving them any excuses. It's just a bad call, and they're getting properly shit on in reviews and stuff. Not a great idea. And our next story is... Nintendo denies suggestion it deliberately broke third-party Switch 2 docks compatibility after scores of user reports issues updates following latest console update. And the update to this story, Nintendo has denied the suggestion that has intentionally disrupted or hindered any legal third-party dock after scores of fans reported that the console's most recent updates had left their devices unusable. In a statement to IGN, Nintendo suggested that any interruption was not its intent. Through the messaging here is a little ambiguous. What is a legal third-party dock? If not intentional, what has caused the disruption experienced by the third-party Switch dock users this week? And if Nintendo impacted the use of such devices by accident, what will it do now to reverse it? Nintendo Switch 2 outputs audio-visual once it detects that it is docked into a Nintendo Switch 2 dock, a spokesman told IGN. Nintendo Switch does the same. outputting audio visuals once it detects that it is docked into a Nintendo Switch dock. Nintendo does not have any intention to hinder or invalidate legal third-party docks. Fucking Nintendo. They absolutely did this on purpose. Because it's a thing we all know. They are absolutely petrified of piracy. So they are doing so many things to ward off piracy that inevitably something like this is going to happen. Where they do an update to maybe close a loophole they found that people could be pirating through, and then it just breaks everything else. We're going to have a lot of these over the first year here until, everybody gets on the same page. But if you have a Nintendo Switch 2 third-party dock out there, I would check it out after you update the system. That is it for our sad news stuff. We're going to get into some good news here. Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time Lego set for 2026 looks to feature Ganon. So if you don't know, they're doing a Ocarina of Time set for Lego coming up. The set, it's all surrounding the Ocarina of Time. It is, so it's a little bit smaller. It's 1,000 pieces, so it's going to be a little bit less than the 2,500 Great Deku Tree, which launched last September for $300. And this set was especially large because it offered 2 builds in one, a version of Deku Tree seen in Ocarina of Time and Breath of the Wild. So you could do one or the other. If these are reasonably priced, these will definitely be something that I will be adding to my Zelda collection. But I did not get that Deku Tree one. Because I love Ocarina, but I'm not going to spend $300 on something Ocarina. If it's only to the past, yes, I will probably spend a good amount of money on Link to the Past thing. So if this is reasonably priced, definitely something I'll pick up. But yeah, it's exciting. These collaborations are exciting. I look at them all and I'm like, that'd be awesome to have. And then it's like $400. I'm like, nope. I'm good. But yeah, so if you're looking to pick up that Zelda set, just know that it'll have Ganon. And it'll be all based on the Legend of Zelda, the Ocarina of Time iterations of those characters. And our normal update here. PlayStation Plus November game lineup confirmed. Includes GTA 5. November's list of PlayStation Plus catalog games being confirmed, and as expected, it includes the welcome return of GTA 5. So here are the games, PlayStation Plus games for November 2025. If you have extra, it's Grand Theft Auto 5, Pacific Drive, Still Wakes the Deep, Insurgency Sandstorm, Thank Goodness You're Here, The Talos Principle 2, Monster Jam Showdown, and MotoGP 25. And if you have PlayStation Premium, which is the highest level, you have the Tomb Raider Anniversary Edition. So those are your PlayStation Plus things, if you do have them. Remember, there is Essential, which is below this, that gets the monthly games. But those are not amongst these. And finally, Nintendo announces its Black Friday sale. We're at that time of the year, folks. We're 2 weeks away, roughly, a week and a half at this point, I guess, from Black Friday. So you'll start seeing these. The unfortunate thing is it does not look like they're doing their normal Switch 1 thing, where it was like a Mario 8 bundle for like $2.99 or something. But they are putting some games out at $30, $40 to $30, like $30 to $40. The sale runs from November 23rd to November 29th. Here are the games they know of for sure from the advertisement. Switch Sports is $29. Odyssey, 29. Paper Mario Thousand Year Door, 29. I might pick that up. Splatoon 3, 29. Princess Peach Showtime is 40. Donkey Kong HD, Donkey Kong Country Returns HD is 40. Legend of Zelda Echoes of Wisdom is 40. Luigi's Mansion is 40. Kirby's Return to Dreamland Deluxe is 40. These will be available at the digital Nintendo eShop, as well as on digital and physical copies at participating retailers. These kind of deals generally happen in places like Amazon, Best Buy, GameStop, Target, and Walmart, to name a few. Cyber Monday plans. You earn a $20 discount on a micro SD Express card for Nintendo Switch 2. So if you're looking to get that. And there just seems to be bundles, possibly. Like they said, no Mario Kart 8 Deluxe thing, but there will be bundles for, it looks like, World and Legends ZA Pokemon. So just keep an eye out. I know Walmart put out their stuff. I didn't get a full article on that, but it's that time of year if you're looking for yeah. They might have those. But yeah, this was the, their announcement here. Yeah, so if I hear anything for Steam Deck and all, I will announce it on here for you guys. But the Nintendo one, I really just pulled this because they usually do that Switch one, which is the one I always point to anyone. Because Mario Kart 8 is a great game to have on Switch to start with. So, yeah. And that'll do it for the podcast. Thank you guys for listening. We'll be back tonight with Mega Man 4 if you're listening or watching on YouTube. And then we'll be here on Thursday, Friday, or Thursday and Saturday. We're recording Podcast Prime on Friday, so that'll be out next week. Yeah, just keep an eye on. We're going to have a lot of stuff coming through here. Holidays are coming, days off are coming, and I can do longer streams if I have nothing going on. So thank you guys for joining me. It has been fun as always. And remember, you can donate to our Extra Life up there at tinyurl.com/GVP as a Gave All Pod, Extra Life 10. This is our 10th year doing it. I'm hoping to meet that goal. If we do that, I'll do a stream in my Expedition 33 cosplay. So if you want to see me in a wig and a striped mime shirt and wearing a beret, get that up to $7.50. I will also drown a nugget in ghost pepper sauce if we get to the limit. So do that as well. Remember, for every $5 or more donation, I will spin the wheel, and we are only doing my 4 hottest sauces from here on out through the rest of the year. So have fun doing that. If you don't want to donate to mine, you can donate through Roxy Foxy, who has her own page as well. I think she might be doing a stream on this whenever she gets the computer fixed. But we will, be trying to get to a couple other goals. So if you like watching me play Phasmophobia, let's get that number up to 1,000, and I will do it. So, yeah, we're currently at 625 for those of you in the audio podcast. So, $275 more to go. Ooh, it's working. The nugget plug making people hungry. So once again, thank you guys for joining me. We'll see you tonight. Have a good rest of your day. And we'll see you next time. Bye.